Greetings and welcome to Office Hours with Dr. G. I'm your host, Dr. G, and I am so glad that you could keep our appointment. Tonight is going to be, in my opinion, a very enlightening discussion. I think I lost my mic, y'all. Can you all hear me? Tonight's going to be a very enlightening discussion from some very enlightening sisters. I'm talking about Mama Kali Sichen El Dey, Empress Chakra, Rarebird, Ningrat. Got my music coming back now. LaTonia, RevCoach Taylor, and we're also going to be joined by Goddess Carbon Star and Lady Dancing Sun. I have to tell you, I'm having a little bit of a technical problem because I knocked my speaker off, so I don't know when the music's going to stop. But instead of me reading all of this acknowledgement about who's who and not knowing when stuff is going to start, I'm just going to bring us on, and we're going to get into this discussion about the importance of acknowledging true divinity. Now, these are some powerful sisters. We've all had our experiences in the church and with other various religions. It could be Islam, it could be, some of the other Eastern religions, but we realize that there is a place where true divinity lies, and perhaps we may be off base when it comes to where God truly is. So without further ado, I want to present the panel here. I'm going to bring us on, take off this banner. Excuse me for my snafu, y'all, with losing my speaker down here, losing my, actually it fell in the trash can. So let me get it up here, y'all. It actually came unhooked. And while I'm doing that, bringing y'all in, unmuting you all. Greetings, one and all. So y'all can give your greetings while I try to can't unmute my guests who's muted themselves. Please, guests, unmute yourself because we want you to be fully participating in this. I'm trying to get some sound back in here.
Love and light, everyone. Love and light.
Love and light.
It's the first time this ever happened, y'all.
Love and light. Hello, family.
It's okay. The music doesn't stop. Greetings. Welcome to Office Hours with Dr. G. My speaker's not on. Let me see if I can get it on. See if we're back on. Greetings, one and all. Since I got you on here, let me just tell you, let me just speak a little bit about who's on here, y'all, because that just totally threw Dr. G off. It was like the speaker went flying off into the trash can and all that good stuff. But listen, so let me tell you a little bit about some of my guests, because I don't have, unfortunately, the background on a couple of my sisters, but you'll know who they are once they open their mouths and begin to speak. Of course, Mama Kali Sichen, who she and I work very closely together. We just had an awesome meeting with the women at Atlanta. More, the women are ready. Mama Kali Sichen El Dey is an ethnographer, cosmologist, astrologer, author, herbalist, and healer, born the 13th child and 7th daughter of an American Indigenous family, organic to this land. And that's enough to tell you about her. She tell you the rest. All right. Empress Chakra, Rarebird, Ningrat, is head of state and office holder for the Cali Cherokee Nation State. She founded the 12 Steps to Sovereignty classes in 2022, whose mission it is bringing individuals back to their sovereign or soul reign that governs us. She's going to tell you some more about herself. You'll find out more as we move on. LaTonia Taylor, LaTonia RevCoach Taylor, is a minister of spiritual consciousness. I cannot say this for Ayosha. You're going to tell me Ayosha. Did I say it right? Okay. Ayosha, transformation psychology educator who is escorting women through feminine soul rites of passage and process for them to become the priestess of their own household. And now her work as a master celebrity coach can be seen on Ayala Own TV's Fix Your Life, Bravo TV's Married to the Medicine, and a producer of other productions telling stories that enrich the culture. And then we also have Lady Dancing Sun. I didn't get a chance to get my sister's bio, but I've heard a lot about her and the interesting work she's doing in the church, but to bring people into consciousness. And we'll get some more about her. And Sister Goddess Carbon Star, who I got a chance to meet on Sunday during a beautiful session that she was doing a part of the hosting. So I want to say thank you, sisters. Greetings and greetings. I like that when we send you love. We said okay, this love. Okay, there it is. This that. Okay, there we go. See, we gonna start something. We gonna get something started in here. So we're talking about acknowledging true divinity. I've had discussions with at least 3 of you sisters, and that would be, of course, Mama Cali and RevCoach LaTonia and now Empress Rarebird. So, and I've heard, of what some of you are doing, but I wanted to start with Empress Rarebird because she has an awesome program that she can tell you more about it, how long it's been going on. But I had the opportunity to sit in. She invited me to sit in, as well as Mama Cali. We had a chance to sit in on their most recent session. And before that, I had the opportunity to talk to Empress about God and where God is and how, she goes about approaching that. So without further ado, I want to present Empress Rarebird, Empress Chakra Rarebird Ningrat, here to office hours with Dr. G, and to my audience here, because they're gonna hear a lot more from you in the days and weeks and weeks. Strongs. I learned that we're not going to call them weeks no more. I learned that from Sister Kafunya. We're going to call them strongs, in the strongs to come, right? Because we're not weak. We are strong. So we're not in a daze. Okay.
Oh,
so
I love that.
Would you tell us about yourself, a little bit about whatever you care to share, and tell us about this unique approach that you have to teaching others, men and women, about where God is?
Okay, so
let me see. Are you muted? Let me make sure.
Okay.
Can
you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, there you are. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So
no,
love and light, everyone. You can't
is it
hear
me or is it y'all?
It's probably your
speaker.
Because we hear her.
You, Dr. G.
Can you hear? Can we hear you? Let me. I can't hear. You hear her? Everybody else hears her?
Yes.
Everybody but me? Oh,
yes.
My goodness. All right. Well, we're going to figure this out. Go ahead and you talk, and I'll figure out why I can't.
We'll wait. We'll wait for you.
Let me do this.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I gotcha.
Okay, I needed to change my setting. So you're good now?
We're good now.
Can everybody else hear me as well?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. I'm glad we're getting all the glitches out. Stuff happens for a reason. They just perfecting us to that when stuff just come up and pop up, it's our time to shine and be a little bit more perfected and paying attention and knowing how to handle adversity on the spot, because that's really what it is, on the job training. All right. So without that, with me saying that, the first thing I want to say is thank you for having all of us on your show. This is a much needed topic to be spoken of. But before I get started, I cannot get started without first acknowledging Lady Dancing Sun and Carbon Star, because without them, this program couldn't run in a efficient and very a sound way to do it, because for a long time I carry this by myself. Although Lady Dancing Sun has been with me the longest through other endeavors, all the emailing, all the material and all of that, most of the time was between her and myself, with me having to carry the baby while I train my baby, which I would say Lady Dancing, so she's my oldest baby. And that's not because of anything other than she's been with me the longest. Now, I wanted to allow them, before I get started, the opportunity to say who they are and what part they play, and then I'll come back and then give you an overview. So without further ado, I will allow Lady Dancing Sun to first start, and then Carbon Star.
Ashe, love and light. This is truly an honor to be amongst such illuminated divine sacred energies. And by that INNER, capital GS, energies. I honor all of you, my divine sacred feminine sisters. Mother Kali, Dr. G, Empress Rarebird, Sister RevCoach, LaTonia, and my goddess Carbon Star, my beloved sister. I give honor to all of you as well as myself, Lady Dancing Sun. I'm here at the invitation of Empress Rarebird. As she's already stated, I have been with her the longest through spiritual journey, through her vision and her mission for humanity. And we are both like-minded, like-spirited, like-missioned, bringing back divine, sacred, feminine remembrance, because we are that we are already divine and sacred. And we're journeying, soul journeying to merge with spirit and remembering who we are, knowing who we are, loving who we are, trusting who we are, and being who we are. And I compliment COMPLEMENT. I complete Empress Rarebird in her journey, in her vision, in her mission with the divine sacred feminine energy and remembering who we are. We together illuminate through the 12 Steps to Personal Sovereignty program, illuminate both feminine and masculine energies, inspire and empower and encourage them to remember their divinity and then to be their divinity. And I'm honored to work alongside Empress Rarebird in the capacity, any capacity that is desired and required of me. More specifically, Legacy Committee, whose vision and mission it is to collectively create that 12 Steps to Personal Sovereignty experience for all those who desire to walk it out. And so that is what you're experiencing when you come. You're experiencing something that has been artfully, divinely crafted for you to develop and sit on your throne, your God seat. And so I'm grateful that you're having me here. I'm honored, I'm elated, I'm super excited, and I'm here humbly and completely divine. Ashe.
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 And by the way, this means, first of all, we do this to ourselves, and then we send it out to others. Means we love ourselves and honor ourselves first, acknowledge ourselves, and then we now honor you and all that you are. All right. Carbon Star.
Yes. I am Goddess Carbon Star. I am the baby sister. And I am a woman of little words. I shouldn't say little words. I don't speak much. I'm I'm the observant one. They call me the regulator because I'm always, my I am is always seeking and filling out energies and vibrations. And so I sit back as like the doorkeeper, the watchman. And so that's kind of what I am, what I do. But I do allow my I am to govern me in every area as I continue on this journey. I'm also honored to be here as well. So thank you all for the invite. As we continue to do this 12 steps and learn more of each other, we're just here to give and circulate our energies together. I yield.
Ashe.
So we are actually seeing in real time how women can come together and work together, and not in competition with each other, but complement. As Lady Dancing Sun said, we complement each other and we complete each other, and we do that as a collective. And so there is no, first of all, what we do is there's not a big I in little U. Even though I'm Empress and I, I'm the initiator, and that's the regulator, and then and this is the mediator. So we've got all three Trinity coming together and working together for the collective, for the whole. All of the one of the all. All of the one of the all. Circulating both, acknowledging both the masculine and the feminine energy, so that it's not a man thing, it's not a woman thing, it's an energy thing. And we're coming from the concept of the 12 steps. That's where they hid our remedy. It's in the 12 steps. Because if you look on the internet, you've seen the beneficiaries of the 12 steps. They got Overeaters Anonymous, they got Sex Anonymous, they got AA Anonymous, they got Narcotics Anonymous. AA means Alcoholics Anonymous, Codependents Anonymous. I mean, they got all kinds, but it's all around that 12 step where it was founded first by BLW in Egypt, where the eye of Horus, where the sun rises, and it has 12 steps throughout the day before it sets. And so the history of the 12 steps came from us, our ancient ancestors, where they took it and hid it under that. And how many of us, particularly melanated people, because I'm going to tell you, we're not being racist or anything, we're just speaking truth, is that they hid our remedy in Alcoholics Anonymous. How many of our people go to 12-step program? Because most of our people have been exiled out of our knowledge of ourselves and our remedies, our spiritual remedies, our metaphysical remedies, into the religious dogma. Okay. And so when myself personally ended up in the 12 steps of Alcoholics Anonymous, because I can break my anonymity. I'm not ashamed to tell anybody where I've come from and where I am now, because we all have came from some form of something that got us here right now in this very moment. Nobody's exempt from the trauma that has happened to us from childhood on up to where we are right now. So for me, we always have looked for an out, whether we've used sex, whether we've used alcohol, whether we use weed, whether we use crack, or whether we use shopping, or whether we've used Workaholics Anonymous, all these things that have caused us to somewhat find our way into this program called the 12 Steps. And being open enough that when we go in there, that we be open enough to understand that this is where we can be put back together while we're in this physical body, and that we're having a spiritual, we came in as spirit and having a physical experience in this realm here. And the 12 steps, because we have not ever been introduced to our physical side, because we've been basically in the physical, right? And we've been in the material world, ran by ego, and always looking for some hero to save us. We've always looked for that Jesus that come in the sky. We've always bowed down. We've always looked for that hero to come and save us, and not realizing that we are the gods that we've been looking for, and that God is lying within ourselves. Now, as I've walked this journey for almost 30 years, next month would be 28 years for me, that the 12 steps have changed my life. But the part about the 12 steps that really changed my life is it freed me years later now. It wasn't in the beginning, that when I came into that second and that third step, and they started talking about that God thing, y'all. I got up. I said, oh no, I was in treatment at the time. I said, I said, I'm not going to hear him. And it was this rabbi that came in, and my counselor said, no, have a seat. Just be open-minded. Don't leave before the miracle happens. And so I sat back down, and the rabbi gave out these pens and these papers and these crayons. And so we became childlike again. And we sit down, and he said, I want y'all to draw what you want your God to be. Not your mama's God, not your preacher's God, not the Baptist God, not your grandma's God, that kind of God that we've been given for generations. He said that we could throw that in the trash can. I said, okay, let me be a little bit open then. And so I drew this representation of me, a woman in a red dress, because I like the streets, and I like that lifestyle when I was out there. Okay, that brought me in, and I drew these arms coming out of the sky to hug me. Then he said, "Now write down and describe what characteristics do you want your God to have?" And I wrote that down. I said, "I want a loving and caring God that love me unconditionally, and that will help me walk through the rest of my life being free and to be me." And so I wrote all that down, and everybody, wrote theirs down. And he said, "Is anybody need any more time?" And everybody was finished. And then he simplified it, and he said, "Well, that's what your God is. Whatever y'all put down on paper, that's what your God is." And from that moment on, I realized that I now could be free to have a loving and caring God. Not that it even dawned on me until several years ago that the God was, I would still have the mentality that there was still this God outside of me, but at least that God got me to from point A to point B. You understand what I'm saying? So as I walk this walk of recovery, and I'm talking about we're recovering from this matrix, from this spiritual death that we have had over us, as melanated people due to unconsciousness from the moment that we came into this earth realm from our spirit selves. Okay. And so it wasn't until I came into this journey of coming into consciousness that I took this concept of God and realized that at some point that God was lying within myself, and that I was the God that I was looking for, and that was by accident.
Well,
Yeah, it was by accident. But once I saw it, I saw this picture on a wall of a holistic doctor that I was seeing, and it was on the wall the picture of the brain.
brain. Yeah.
And once I saw that little entity
Mm-hmm.
in the back of the brain, I said, "Oh, what is that?" And oh, you the one that I've been waiting for, because they said that the one that recognized that this would be the one that would know what else to do after that. Well, ever since then that I've discovered the God within ourselves, I have been spreading the good news. But guess what? I have not been talking and speaking against nobody's God, nobody's religion. I just point them and I show them the clip that I showed you and Mama Kali, where the men in black, where that face opened up and that little entity was sitting there and saying war. You know, it was around Orion's belt. Well, Orion's belt is that pineal gland and that hypothalamus gland and that pituitary gland, the three wise women, three wise men, however you want to say it. But we have to start looking at ourselves from a metaphysical perspective. And that is where we are, and what the 12 steps of sovereignty, which means sovereignty means soul reigns. Your soul reigns and governs you, and your God within you does that automatically. So with that, I'll hush up because I could really go on and on, but that is the basic concept of what I can tell you about how we're going to free our people from that concept or that religious dogma that we've been oppressed and seem to have gotten hijacked our spirit and our minds. Love and light.
Love and light. Yes, and if you all don't know what she is talking about, that segment and that picture of the brain that she did show us. I mean, I was so impressed. I mean, you literally see the being sitting on the throne. And I was talking to Chief Rod Hayes yesterday, Chief Pontiac, about it. And I think I was talking to Grand Sheik too. Grand Sheik said to me, that's the monad. That's that spirit that's within us that sits there. But I love the concept of the I guess I would call it the gray matter of the brain, or the part we see as the brain being the brick wall to allowing us into full conscious awareness of our God self. But when you break through that wall, when you get to see that, yes, there is God is me. God is me. And that I sit on the throne of my life and I can make decisions and I can manifest what I want because I am God. There was a song, and Mama Cali talked about, when we were talking how much she loved gospel. I remember years ago, even though she don't go to church and stuff like that, but she said, I love the gospel. Remember Mama Cali said that. But there was a song I sang years ago by Donald Lawrence, and I was the lead singer in our choir, and it says, I am God all by myself. I don't need nobody, no one else. I can handle this alone. I am the first, I'm the last. Whatever you need, just ask, because I am God. And he was saying, whoever wrote that,
Yep.
I realized later, they took it as I was singing on behalf of God, but I really was the God in me. when you sang that song with that kind of, understanding, you realize, yes, I can do this. I can allow somebody to
Yeah.
rule and reign in my life,
Mhm.
or I can take the throne. And so many of us, with my 25 so years that I was in church, and of 10 of them in pastoral ministry, I was following, what everybody else said that you do, and not necessarily feeling it, not necessarily believing it. And I don't know, I know I'm not by myself with this, because a lot of us, we go through the motions, because we hit the Messiah and do all the other things. If you go to Pentecostal church like I was, you do all those things, but you're questioning a lot of things that you do all along, because it has not taken root in the soul, or the sovereignty, if you would, the soul that reigns, that's the reality of who we are. And with that, I'm not going to get preachy, but I'm going to move down to my sister, RevCoach, LaTonia, because she, has had, different experiences, and not just Christianity, but Islam and so forth, and way, high up, sitting amongst, folks that, and still now realize, I'm sure, that there's so much more. My sister, can you just, chime in on your take on, divinity, true
Oh,
divinity?
sure. Well, greetings and honor to everyone and all of the lineages that you represent. I just want to acknowledge and call in the power of our ancestors on this 1212 portal. That we are not here by accident. That the Mother Goddess in us, as us, and through us called us here together for a reason, for a purpose, for a season such as this. And so everything that got us here was in divine order.
Yeah.
And so, for those of you who are meeting me for the first time, I have been working with women through rites of passage. And first, I had to go through my own rites of passage. Now that ought to bless somebody, because one of the things that we like to do when we get consciousness is we want to go and try to teach it before we go through our own rites.
That's right. Yeah.
And I love how Empress Rarebird said that she has a 12-step program, because I ended up having to create a 12 steps of religious recovery because I had to recover.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, I'm a country girl born in Mississippi. I am what Rod Hayes called from the Mississippian culture. I am Choctaw. My grandmother, I know my grandmothers who were full-blooded Choctaws, from the Natchez Trace of Port Gibson. And my grandmother was really unique because she was a 7-day Adventist. And so she didn't think like a lot of people. So we would have these conversations that I didn't know was leading me to metaphysics, because my grandmother used to have little pamphlets that I would always go and read. Every time I go to the bathroom, I'd read her. And they were from the New Thought Church. So when I went, got ready to switch my religion, I told my grandmother, and she celebrated me. She was excited. Everybody else in the family had a problem with it. So my grandmother was planting a seed in me that I didn't know was going to lead me. Now I'm very clear that no matter what my bio says, I am here to return the hearts of the daughters back to the Divine Mother.
Ashe.
That is my work.
Yes.
So I don't care whether I'm teaching business. I don't care if I'm on television in anybody's network, because Black women don't know that they are the Holy Grail. And I say Black with quotes.
Yeah.
Indigenous women, autochtons, organic to the land, do not know who they are. We are the Holy Grail, the thing that has been the best kept secret that everybody is talking about in the major religions. Now, I don't know if it gets any more religious than me, because I wasn't Pentecostal or anything, but I'm a Reformed Catholic, a Reformed good girl. Then I went on to the Nation of Islam, and at Sister Captain, shout out to all the MGT, GCC, Vanguard, security. I have a security mind because of that. And then from there, I began to deconstruct, because what happened is Minister Farrakhan, peace to one of my spiritual fathers, he would teach us in the mosque that, first of all, he would say that my teacher said, don't teach what I teach the meaning of what I teach. So he would tell us that it was our job to study beyond even what he knows, and that the mosque was just a womb. So he would use this language, and I would love the study. So as I began to study and exegete, then spirit would begin to speak, and I started to discover things and ask questions that led me to metaphysics. As I was doing it, check this out though, even though we had our study groups, I dare not start talking about the divinity of who we are, that we really didn't need the religious system in that way. Because when you're in a community, you have people that are so zealous that it becomes dangerous to begin talking like that. Now, I want y'all to hear what I'm saying. I mean, I really mean this from my heart. I've never told this story publicly.
Yeah.
And it's one thing to be in a church, but it's another thing to be in the Nation of Islam, be an official, be all of that. And so as I was doing my deconstruction, I studied more metaphysics. And now, as I start to understand the science of the mind and all of these different things, I'm a Black woman now, and I'm trying to figure out which way do I go. At that time, I was a wife, a business owner. I was one of the youngest in the mosque, in the temple, in leadership. I could go on and on about those lessons. But when I would share, people would recoil, about this thing. And so it wasn't time then. It wasn't time. Sometimes we try to share before it's right in us, right? And so then as I go on, it started to become uncomfortable to be so restricted. To use that language, because I knew better now and I had questions. And so I began to deconstruct quietly on my own. And as a lieutenant in the Nation of Islam, it is very militarized in many ways, and you have certain responsibilities. And I taught classes. And so when I would teach the classes and use the personal development skills and metaphysics, I started to see women would show up one way, but that would just be a symptom of something else that was going on. And I found my calling in this work of transformation in an MGT and GCC class, because I was transforming. Later on, as I was trying to find myself and what this meant for me as a woman, is when I met the Reverend Dr. Iyanla Van Zandt. And so when I went to her almost 20 plus years ago, I had headpiece, I was covered, all of that good stuff. And that is where I began to learn divinity. And I believe that as women, it is important for women to find their divinity through other women, belly to belly. Because if our mothers don't teach us, then we have to mother one another. We have to mother one. We have to show up even in our sisterhood as mothers. And what I have been finding, even in my work now, is a lot of people jump out of the church and into consciousness with no study, with no deconstruction. So therefore, you don't have a reframe. You haven't studied and shown yourself approved. You have not studied, you have not deconstructed and unlearned what you've been taught, so that you won't be hoodwinked and bamboozled and looking for somebody else to be your Messiah in another tradition. You just go from one, in the church, we call it church hopping, right? Mosque hopping, bimbe hopping, whatever you want to call it, until you find that divinity in you and in your bloodline. And the way that I found that was through the feminine, the divine feminine, is studying the divine feminine. And so in my work, as I began to do rites of passage with women, what would always come up, sisters, is the sexual shame and guilt, the heaven or hell theology. And so Black women have been so paralyzed by heaven and hell and damnation and fire and brimstone. And they have been gatekeepers of their own
Oh,
oppression
yep.
and
Mm.
now asking questions. And so now when they come in, a lot of them, they'll watch me when I'm talking juicy. You all don't know this yet, but I'm the author of a book called My Juicy Rebirth. And when I was teaching juicy and talking juicy, people was wondering, what is that all about, right? And they were afraid of it. Now, mind you, I would go study with other people from other traditions and other walks of life who was using our arts,
Yep.
using our ancient arts to empower themselves to manifest the desires of their heart and their life. And for me, as a minister of spiritual consciousness, as one who had gone through my rites of passage, I vowed that I would bring it to my sisters in a way for us to be able to understand. Because the thing is, we love to talk about pain because the church has conditioned us to deal with pain. So we will run to the altar, we'll turn out a workshop. A workshop will become a whole birthing room because it's so much pain in Black women. But when
Yes.
you talk to Black women about pleasure, they begin to become suspicious. What pleasure? What? Because we don't even know we are that holy grail, and the yoni is the portal of everything. It's the Black woman, the symbol of who we are as mothers of civilization. So the rites of passage work that I do is near and dear to my heart more than anything. And so this is really the zone that dances together of reformation, deconstruction, reformation, and rebirth for women. Um, and I believe that when women are able to do this work, as you say, fall in love with yourself, find yourself, God in yourself, then you can have a different relationship with love, with sex, and with money. But if we have been taught to show up as men, we've been conditioned to be men in dresses, in makeup, in weaves, and lace fronts. And see, we have a generation who won't listen to this lie. A lot of the people, a lot of y'all in the chat, y'all are conscious. So y'all speak a certain kind of language that turns off the millennials, quite
Yep.
frankly, that turns off Gen Z, because we have become so such a much and so conscious that we don't know how to sit in a room with them and be able to break bread with them without judgment, without criticism, without shooting on them. And that is one of the things that when we go to redeem our daughters and call our daughters back to them, they don't need our judgment. They don't
Okay.
need us to tell them anything. And they know a little bit more about money, and they don't believe in being poor righteous teachers. If we develop a different relationship with ourselves, then we also have a different relationship with our commerce, our economy, our agency as being abundance and magnets and deserving to live well and to live a certain way. And I'm not talking about like our colonizers. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is, in order to get the attention of these young girls who are chasing bags, my millionaire clients, a lot of them are having breakdowns with their mother. So when a woman has a breakdown with her mother, she has a breakdown with herself, with her identity. So she cannot understand that God is in her when she has had older women who have judged her, who have abused her, who have neglected her, where she has been uncompensated as a little girl, not safe in her own home. So before we go to the high knowledge, before we become adepts, we have got to heal. We have got to heal our heart. We've got to heal our womb. We can't just be vegan and our heart is still heavy and not clean. We have to be able to have some relationships with our sisters, some ability to do conflict resolution. Whenever Dr. G calls the people together, everybody wants to start talking about, we're going to do prison reform. We're going to do this. Don't they,
Yeah.
Dr.? Am I lying? But how are we going to come together and use the womb that we create when women, right now, this is a womb. This is a sacred womb. Everybody under the sound of my voice that's in that chat, you are in a womb. You can rebirth yourself right now. You can go get somebody that you have been trying to awaken and put them in this space with 6 mamas on a 12-12 day. Look at that.
Yes. 12.
This is the portal of the mother awakening. This is a sacred day that we're in. So every word we're speaking is a prayer. Everything that we are saying, we are conjuring and calling to us. So that's my work.
Shay.
Love and light. Yes, 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 yes.
Mama Cali, my eldest sister. Talk to us.
First of all, I am truly honored for my daughters to be here today to teach me. I've done so much and I've been so many places, and my feet have touched the bare earth all over the world.
Mm.
And it has been quite a journey. It has been a remarkable journey, which I speak of not as often as I should, but I have spoken. And today, this 12-12 portal, and remember we had that first meeting on the 11-11
11.
in here in the main city of Atlanta. This journey today, this womb that we sit in, is a culmination of a prophecy. And I'm sure that none of you here except Dr. G have heard it. And so I must repeat it to you.
Mm.
In 1992, yes, it was 1992, we received a call from a prophet in Ethiopia. Well, this was very strange because it happened in such an unusual way. First of all, it was in 9:30 at night, and we were never in our office at 9:30 at night, myself and my husband. But he happened to be there that night. He went to pick something up. And so when the phone rang, he answered, thinking it was me asking him to bring something home. But it was a medical doctor in Ethiopia who said that there was a prophet who lived in the high hills at the source of the Blue Nile, who wanted to see us because he had something very special to tell us. And so, well, it was weird to us and it was strange, but from that moment on, we received a lot of calls. We exchanged faxes because 92, we didn't have an internet. And it was very difficult to talk directly to our people in Africa on the continent. All the calls had to go through Europe. Okay? So we couldn't call directly and talk to people. So it took us from 1992 to 1996 to make that trip to Ethiopia. And when we got there, we had to take a long journey down the road, and so by the river or the Great Rift Valley. And then we got to a very small town. And we weren't finished. We weren't to the village where the prophet was yet. We had to walk up a mountain. And that was a while ago. I could do that then. But nevertheless, we did get to the top of the mountain, and we sat down. It was about 8 or maybe 10 different huts, grass huts. And we sat down on a bamboo bench, and all the animals came and sat in front of us. And then the people came and sat around in benches. And then the prophet appeared. And he said to us, go back to America and tell the women born in the African diaspora. At that time, we didn't know about indigenous here. We had just got that African American thing in the late 80s, remember?
Yeah.
Or maybe you're too young. But nevertheless, he said, go and tell the women born in the African diaspora that they are the ones who will change the world. That we are the ones who, when we step forward with knowledge of self and with knowledge of the world that we live in, that we would be able to reach out and change the entire world. And so we did come back, and we actually stopped in New York to make that announcement. And let me add this bit too. We stopped in Egypt just to see the pyramids, on the way to Ethiopia. And we were by Imhotep's pyramid, and that desert is barren. There's nothing there. But we saw a little green plant about 100 feet away from the pyramid, just a small green something in that barren desert. And my husband being a botanist, we went there to collect the plants because that's what we did all over the world. We collected plants and preserved plants and studied plants. And we collected that plant. It was the only thing there. And we said, well, I don't know if we should collect this plant. But being botanists, yes, we took a piece of it. And there was white stuff covered all over the plant. And every country that we went into, we would go to the National Herbarium at the university to have the herbarium keepers help us to identify the plant. And so we went to the University of Cairo, and the herbarium keeper, Dr. Hadidi was his name, Dr. Hadidi, identified the plant. And he said, this is the biblical manna. And that white stuff you see, it falls every 200 or 300 years. But this plant that you have picked is the biblical manna. And so we felt from then on that the journey that we had taken was very, very special. Because you find the biblical manna, on your way to see a prophet. The prophet tells you, you got to go home and tell all the ladies that they're getting ready to change the world.
Yes.
That was 30 years ago.
Wow.
And so this is the culmination of that year prophecy. And I am pleased and honored to be with you and to sit with you and to learn from you. What I want to do, like I told Dr. G, was that I want to act as an elder to, in many ways, to guide you.
Yes.
In many ways, to learn from you and to, in many ways, to actually share with you those things that I know and I've experienced many times before, and many years before you were born.
Mm.
So I know that my mother, who was 45 when I was born, and I being the 13th child, I grew up with elder women, and I learned so much from them. And, you know, they were very much into the old culture. And so I sat with them, learned canning, learned quilting, and all those other arts that are so much we don't know anything about anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, because that was all lost in our attempt to be someone other than who we are.
Yes, I say.
But we've learned better now.
Yes.
And so I'll sit here as an elder and do more listening than I do talking. And you know that's rare for me, because don't get me talking, honey. I will take the whole thing over. Okay? So thank you all for being my teachers now. And I hope that I will be of some use to you as you move along.
Hmm.
And
I
we
say.
can create this new world that the prophet prophesied 30 years ago, that we would be the ones.
Yes,
Ashe.
I say.
Ashe. Mama Kali, I thought I had it up here. I was trying to put it up, but your book, your two books, that the latest two books.
Oh, the
especially
latest book, or
well, the latest two, the last two, particularly the one, I think, is that behind you? I'm trying to see. It looks like
Global Transformations.
yes. Let me bring you
Okay.
to let me bring
Can
you up
I
into the
mention
solo
something?
here.
Oh, yeah.
There.
There it is. Global
And-
Transformations. You can see I got little tags in here so that I can find things quickly.
And then
The rise of feminine power and the ascension of the Ethiopian king. Okay, now people will think that the Ethiopian king is a man, but it's our new North Star. And you can go back in Dr. G's
the archive
and find the
segment
video, video that I did speaking about this global transformation. It's astrology, astronomy, prophecy, and one thing that I think I mentioned it to you today. There's a part in this book that I started recording today, and I think that it may be a great addition to what we are doing as far as helping our people to know themselves, get back to their God self. And that part that I started from this book that I started recording today is an outline of a book written in 1992 by Dr. Amos Wilson. It was called The Falsification of African Consciousness. Mm-hmm. And, you know, when we go to school and we learn psychology and psychiatry and all that, Dr. Wilson says pretty much we are deserting ourselves because the psychology and the psychiatry and the medicine and everything that we learn in these institutions is in support of white supremacy. Mm-hmm. And so what he did was to break down how it is, how they have falsified our consciousness to work for them. And so much of the psychology that we actually believe, because we went to school and got a degree in psychology, is the psychology that supports white supremacy. Now, when I was in college, I signed up for psychology about 3 times. And within the first 2 weeks, I dropped it each time. Because to me, it didn't address anything that made any sense to me. And that might be because I had learned about the Skinner rat, and that was before I even went to college. How that conditioning of the rat actually serves the purpose of the colonizer. And so I never could stay in that class. You know, way back when I was in college, you know, I was kind of mature when I was in college. I think I started at 18 and dropped out. And I started reading. And then I went back to college after I had one child. And I think I was about, I was 25. Because my first child was born when I was 24. All those years I read, but I wasn't reading ordinary stuff. I was reading mostly metaphysical history and world religions. You know, I looked at just about every world religion, and I have explained to people before that Christianity, as much as I love gospel music, because I went to choir practice with my mother, you know, I stopped going to church when I was 12 because it just didn't resonate with me, you know. So I am recording a part of this book, The Falsification of African Consciousness. And I think I was telling Empress today,
yes,
that I think I may even distribute it, you know, and not monetize it at all, because it's so important that we understand how the education system prepared us to be servants to white supremacy.
yes.
And we got to let that go.
Yeah.
We got to unlearn everything.
Yes.
You know that book you talked about, Dr. G? Everything I know.
Everything is a lie.
Is a lie.
Everything's in the whip. Yeah, well, everything is a lie. Nothing is
Everything
true.
we have been taught is a lie.
Yeah.
Everything.
And that's
Learn
some
to
of
let
the
that go.
that's some of the what I say when I sponsor folks when they first get into the introduction. Say everything you think you know, throw it in trash can. It has no use here, you know, because you have to. Nothing fits over here in the spirit, in this aspect of who you are internally.
Absolutely.
So I totally agree.
So I yield.
Well, Mama Kali, I want to say this to you, and I don't want to. I'm not trying to call you out or anything, but you know, when I pulled you up into solo view, and I'm looking at you, and you know, it's something about when you're living right, and you for so many years you've known how to live right. I'm looking at. Okay, I know you don't really mind. I don't think you do. I'm bringing you up. An elder that's been on this planet this time for just about, can I say 80 revolutions around the sun. You have the most beautiful skin, and not just your skin, but your mind, and the sharpness of your mind, and the way that you are ready to get things just done. You can teach us a whole lot about how to live right, to live long, to live. I'm looking at you. You know, I was with you, you know, a month ago at Atlanta, and I just say there's whatever the secret is, and I'm going to say this for you, is something in the water. because
Well, you know I have water
that's
here.
why I'm saying, that's why I'm saying what I'm saying, because I know that you have tell us what you have, please.
Well, you know, first of all, my mother raised me on herbs. I was never sick. If we had a cold or something, or felt bad, or had a fever, she would just go out into the backyard and pick something up and put it in a pot. Remember, my mother was born in 1900, you know, so I always sat with old women, you know. But my mother, she didn't, well, that's what she knew. She knew the herbs in the backyard. You know, there was an open field behind us. There was no house. And we had a big garden. And me being the youngest child, the belief was that you give the seeds to the youngest and let them put it in the ground, because they are growing and therefore the seed will grow with them. And so I always ate real food. I always had fresh food. And I followed that throughout my life. Remember, you know, I told you that, you know, let's say that my diet has always been clean. I never went to eating crazy stuff. Yeah, sure. Even now, I'll have something I have 7 grandchildren. Sure, I'll sit down and eat some tortilla chips, or, you know, every now and then, but that's not my food, you know, and pretty much I've been a vegetarian for almost my whole life. I wouldn't even eat chicken as a child because they killed the fresh chicken. I mean, the live chicken. That's how we got chicken. We didn't go and get something that was killed 10 months ago and frozen. And, you know, that's not how we had chicken, you know, but they would kill the chicken in the backyard. And the chicken would run all over the place with the blood spattering and everything. And I didn't like that. And so I didn't eat chicken. And so basically, I've been a vegetarian all my life. And if food didn't look right or smell right, I wouldn't touch it. So I never gave up eggs. I don't believe in that. You know, I believe in eggs. And I never gave up butter. Those are the basic animal products that I do eat. Every now and then, I might have a small piece of fish. But that's it. So I've had a very clean diet most of my life, and I've got a water in a well that I'm beginning to sell, you know, and anybody who wants to be a distributor, I invite you to come. It's water that what they call primary water is down beneath the rock formation, and it has filtered through the what is this rock that I'm sitting on? It's granite. So I'm sitting on a granite rock, and the water that I get is like 660 feet down. It's pure. And when I had it tested, they wanted to know where that water come from. You know, because hey, they don't see water like that every day. So for 26 years, that's the water that I've drunk. And I've remained on the vegetarian diet. I've got, you know, I grow my own greens, and in the summertime, I grow other things. I was run out of my backyard garden by the deer. The deer have taken over the whole. Did I send you, Empress, that picture today?
You did. It was so beautiful.
Show
And I
you
thank
that those
you.
were at my front stairs.
I'll send them to
Okay.
everybody.
So they feel so safe. And the thing about it, even the male deer came to eat at my stairs today. But earlier in the day, there were 3, female deer. And I was playing this song that, it's been with me now. I don't know if any of you know Donnie McClurkin and that song Stand. Do you know, do any of you know that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I think this is my 5th day playing it. And so I'm sitting at my window looking out at the deer, and they perked up. They were listening. Because they hear everything. You know that if you make a move, they see you and they hear you.
When you mention deer, I don't know if any of you have seen it, but all the buzz is about the Netflix movie Leave the World Behind. And I hadn't seen it, but I was seeing all these little TikTok clips, and people are trying to decode it and tell you what it was. So I attempted to look at it before tonight's broadcast, except I was so tired that when I woke up, it had been looking at me. But there were some parts that I saw that the one person or the one individual in that scenario who was probably purest, what I got at heart, was the young lady, was about 13, and the deer would come to her. It was based, somebody said, on her, the purity or the energy. Also the fact that first it was a couple of deer, and then when it was a whole herd of deer, it was signaling that something negative was coming. They were like, we're getting ready to leave. We tribing up and we out of here, So it was also like they were given a message. But that is beautiful when you can when nature responds, because that's what and who we used to be. That's how we used to live. That we lived in harmony. The word, the Bible does say that we were given the herb of the field, and with the seeds and so forth, again, to for our food, for our medicine. And we have gotten so far away from that everything, not only are we have they gone, somebody says there's not that much cattle in the world to have that many burgers being sold. You know what I mean? Worldwide, they just are not producing that many cows. So what is it? It's impossible to know, what we're eating beyond what meat is. You see, I just throw those things because
don't eat any ground meat, okay?
I know.
And
don't eat any ground meat. And I'm suspicious of whatever that is that they giving you called chicken. What is it? Chicken nuggets.
Impossible. Yeah. When you call something beyond impossible and beyond,
and then you call it vegan.
So
there's a impossible vegan shop somewhere here in Atlanta, and she's, well, I shouldn't talk about this.
I know where you're going, Mama.
Very successful entrepreneur, but she's selling impossible burgers, and believe me, it's impossible.
They used to line up around the corner, I'm told.
I know exactly where you're going with that, Mama. Cali. Yes. But before we get on to the food, and there's so many things that we could talk about. I know we are talking about the divinity of the woman, right? And so as you're talking about the deer, that is one of Oshun's animals. So this is also where we have had programs that make us understanding nature demonized. So it's not. And when we look at who we were, even as Native people, it wasn't that the meat was bad. It is how they process meat, and how it's how we are out of touch with being able to grow our own food. But it not only that, to communicate with nature. So the deer is one of Oshun. So when we go outside, do we know what energies are even represented in nature? when we see a certain thing, when a tornado is coming?
Mhm.
Do we know how to mark our door and put out an offering so that the tornado,
Yes.
you're sending a signal to the wind, the goddess of the wind, the goddess
Yes.
of transformation? You
Oh,
put in
yeah.
an offer to Oya
Mhm.
in order to acknowledge her. When we pass by the mountains and the trees, do we know the medicines that can heal our family? No, because traditional Christianity has made us demonize many of the things that can heal our household. And one of the things, even with prayer, I heard you talking about gospel music, Mama, is that we will sing the gospel, but we have to also be careful not to sing ourselves into a depression. Anything that we sing ought to take us higher, right? And so
Right.
when
Right.
but at the same time, sometimes we're singing those old songs like we do at a misa in when we come together, what we call a sacred ceremony, right? To channel and pull in the ancestors. You have to communicate their songs. You have to fix their foods. You have to know their food. So guess what? None of our
Oh,
ancestors
absolutely.
were vegan. Most of them weren't vegan. So sometimes we have to pay attention to what grandma ate so that when we get ready to open the road. So today, if I were to do an offering, if I was cooking for my ancestors, am I going to go serve them an impossible burger?
Oh, please.
You know, am I?
Okay,
Give us some
so
sweet potatoes, some corn.
Yeah,
You know,
right,
those
exactly.
traditional foods that we
Ex-
always
ex-
ate. Today
ex-
I
but
had sweet
but we
potatoes and
also but but
yes,
but we
yes,
also have to be reminded, and this is something that we have to think about as well. Prior before, we were invaded, right? Uh our whole diet was changed and forced upon us. So
yes,
we started eating things that was left over for survival. Like
yes.
they got all like they're the ones that ate things that we didn't eat. The one thing that we did not, as far as our culture, because this is what we're talking about. We're talking about culture here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we didn't eat each other.
you might be
We
eating that
did,
if you're eating ground meat now.
and hear me out. We have to think about also the energies that these foods are carrying.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't just stop at the meat, but it also the energies of the vegetables, the,
Yes.
the energy of the ground, the energy that is being um, I guess, circulating into the food. Okay, when you are, what happens when the food was in the ground and you and then you pluck it up and whose hands is touching it, right? And then it's in a truck somewhere, caught it, whatever, and then you got all that energy going, right? And then you got the grocery store folks touching it, and then you got people that are shopping that are touching and feeling all over it. And then when you get home, so you got a whole line of energies in the food
Yep.
before it gets to your table. And the other thing that I want us to be aware of, do you ever hear them talking about killing the rooster, killing the bull?
Yeah.
Always you're gonna kill the chicken
Mm-hmm.
and her young,
Mm-hmm.
or the cow, and never and the calf, and never the bull. So
Yeah.
society has been created to disrespect the feminine
The female and eat the
and,
female.
and eat her young.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
just want y'all just to think about that concept uh, for a minute, because this is a awareness
Yeah.
that human meats are being introduced into the foods.
Yes.
Y'all know that the funeral home sells us out, and we don't know what's
Yep.
happening with our ancestors when they go to the morgue. And I have a whole thing about that.
Mm-hmm.
But the divinity to come back into alignment, because even I have to catch myself when we are talking about God as a he.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you'll
Right.
hear that even in the conscious community, that the women will say, "Oh, well, he's God is he." Say all that
Right.
masculine. We gotta
Right.
come in and don't forget, because the ankh and the cross.
Mm-hmm.
You had it on your
Cover.
if you could pull that up for a minute, because we need to address the energies.
Well, oh yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to address that cross and that ankh, because that's everything is energy and everything is vibratory frequency. So I just want to point out that ankh was first before that cross was.
That's right.
And that cross was to symbolize, if you look at it, it's an imbalanced cross. If you go everywhere, go on the internet, pull up, go to churches, go to all the symbolism, and you'll see the cross is longer down at the bottom than at the top. It's in balance. And so the world is in balance. So that cross is right there where that throat chakra at. And it cuts that feminine energy voice off. So from that point of that cross up, that's the feminine energy where the loop is, where the what we call the feminine fallopian tubes and the reproduction system. So if you've been under that symbol, you see them in the earrings, on the chest, and all the different places, that the divinity is being captured
Yes.
through that energy of that cross.
Yeah.
It symbolizes to cut the feminine energy off, and that is the symbol of the phallic, the penis.
That's right.
And so the longer part of the cross represents the Lord nature of humanity, for lack of a better word, because human, they say, means monster. But it's what you want that energy to be when you say humanity, and where your mindset is. So we're talking about greed, lust, and all that, Lord, ego stuff, ego-driven life that doesn't acknowledge that you need both of the energies to create. Because when you only acknowledge the even who someone said about the women wearing a dress, and they got the masculine energy, right? Where we dressed up as what was
I
it that
said it.
could you repeat that again?
Well, we have women who are in dresses, and red bottoms and lace fronts and wigs and weaves and makeup and all of that, but they are just well-dressed men.
That's correct.
Because they are carrying the masculine energy. And again, our homes and our families have been so demoralized that they don't even recognize that they're holding this energy. So
That's correct. And so these are some of the reasons that I'm pointing out. The symbolisms, in the isms, I, self, and me.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
ego. and all of that. So I wanted just to point that out, that we're eating the energies. They are. And I'm careful about, well, I don't eat meat. You know, we were original people that was vegetarians, herbalists, and a culture came in and hijacked our culture, and we took upon those ways.
Mm-hmm.
And because we took upon those ways, that moved us away from our divinity. And when you start to program someone's brain to shut down the divinity part of what's inside of it, and I did, Dr. G, pull up the what
The
I
brain?
showed, the
Did you want
brain.
to share it?
I can share that, so that those who are watching tonight, even though you're not wherever you are, you will understand what Lady Dancing Son and myself and the rest of the crew. And we've got men in the 12-step program. We don't separate the men from the women, because there's not necessary. We all have to heal and come up to our divinity. So there, we don't separate. Oh, men can't come in. We got just as many men to come in and heal and learn about their divinity and their godness, just like everybody. We both are the same. When I'm looking at the men, I'm looking at myself, and when they look at themselves, they're looking at me. We're one. So am I
So if you click share, you see down where it says present
okay, where am I
at
seeing?
the bottom. You should see where you can says present, share. Share when you
Oh,
click,
yes.
click what you want to share, and then I'll bring it in.
Okay, so I'll share my screen.
Mhm.
And
It should, when you click that, it should show up here. I don't see
okay.
the actual screen.
Okay, can you see my screen?
Not yet. Did you
Okay.
click on, open up the screen and then click share at the bottom? Where,
Okay, got you. Okay, so I want to share the slide.
yeah. Okay, let me see. Here's the part. Okay. Here we go. Is this, well, there's
Okay.
nothing on there yet. Let me see.
Yeah, and I clicked share. So
Well, let me remove this because that's just showing a black screen. So I think you might have.
okay.
Let me remove this, and whatever it is, you have to actually have have the picture up.
Oh, okay. Let me do that then. Hold on one second.
I'll be stepping out in just a moment.
Well, I want to thank you, RevCoach, because I want to thank you for your input, your insight, your knowledge, and I know that anybody who's listening and will see this, either you're in the live or you're seeing the replay, that in the comments, in the description of this particular broadcast, there is contact information. And I know you're still doing your rebirth classes and counseling and so forth. So if they can reach out to you,
Yeah,
are you currently doing any?
Yeah, they're good. They can reach out to Rebirth with LaTonia. To even tonight, I'm doing a special session for this 12/12. I'm calling it a Renaissance activation session, mother shifting, so that we can move beyond just being wounded by the mother or healing the mother wound and really stepping into the activation. So I'm doing a special session tonight at 10 o'clock that should take us right into the 12 o'clock hour, so that we can charge up this energy, conjure and pull in the desires of our heart tonight. So I'm jumping off in a few minutes so that I can
hold this special session, and they can go to rebirthwithlatonia.info and choose Mother Shifting. You all are welcome to join. If you go over 10 o'clock, you can come on in the room. As the old people say,
Rebirth with Tanya.
Rebirth with LaTonia.
Okay.
.info. It's right there in my tag, and I'll put it in the comments. As the older people say, come on in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, thank you so much. I'm going to bring this up. Here we are.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
yes.
We have a
so,
copyright issue, but can we show this little clip? We can show a clip, can't we?
yes, I'm going to go ahead and show this little clip, and then I'm going to show the brain so that I can show people where their divinity lie, and that way you won't ever be lost again. So just give me, it's only about maybe a minute.
We have it up.
Must to prevent contest.
It's okay. What are you trying to say?
To
prevent struggle.
To prevent
War? Okay. Now I want to go to this slide that relates to that scene where you saw that little entity. And we've been warned with ourselves. You've been at war. It's you. It's not no one else. You got to get you together. You got to understand your divinity through the fact that you got to see yourself as what you really are. And if you don't see yourself as a God, then you're doing yourself a disservice to do anything outside of yourself and come home to yourself metaphysically and live metaphysically and understand yourself metaphysically as a God, then nothing will work for you. So I always do this because it is hard for our people to let go of that religion and that God that has been passed down as a generational curse. And I don't speak against anyone's religion. I don't come in here and talk about religion because it is irrelevant, because it starts a war with each other, because people get into, well, I'm Baptist trumps Catholic, and Catholic is, all that doesn't matter. This is about you and seeing yourself as what you are. And so I always start with the eye of Ra and the eye of Horus, which, if you can see my my pointer up here to the top left, and you see the eye, and this is going to be representing this down here under it, where you see the actual brain is the issue. If the brain is being programmed to prevent you from understanding what's beyond that, which is your divinity, and that you have right here at the 33 degrees. So you Masonic brothers out there who are saying you're 33, you're not 33. If you were born of a melanated woman, you're 360, and then you're initiated to your 720 cells only through initiation through your mama or some auntie, some feminine energy that will help you with that other side of you, which is that other 360. Now, we've all been down here at this bottom part of this brain that's called the reptilian, the lower nature, the dogma of yourself. So this is where we've been trapped. So we've been between here and here in this brain. And so what we want to do is go inside the brain. And so when you start to look at yourself right here, now we're going to go to this right side where it has the brain. And you got this, I mean, you see this two little eyes right here. See them two eyes? That's the pituitary and the pineal gland and the hypothalamus all in one right here. They call it the three wise men, the three sisters, whatever you want to call it. But that's what's going on right here. It's got a little cap right there. That's that pineal gland. And then if you see the little stomach right there, and then you see the two legs hanging off of the seat of the throne right there. And you can't deny it. So if you look down here at the bottom, the right up under there, you see what they call Jesus on the cross being crucified. Okay, so there is that entity that is sitting inside of you, inside the back of your brain. So now you know where your God seat is. Take your butt home to it. Okay? Now, it's transmitting utilities. You see them red and them blue cards? Well, that's that circulating of that God juice inside of you, the blood. That's they call it the blood of Jesus. You understand me? All right. So there's no issue about going home in the inside and being the God that you are and ruling from the inside out instead of from the outside in, because these two eyes right here is very deceitful. Okay? Let me go back one. It's very deceitful. So every time you are living from outside in, you're gonna always bypass your God seat and be ruled by whatever is going on the outside of you. So you got the circle Willis right here. What you talking about, Willis? That little stick man right there to the right. That's all inside your brain, where your God seat is. So therefore, for those of you all who are on the call tonight, now you know where the God seat is. It's time to go home. And that's what we do here. We bring you home so that you can come out of the religious Jesus and all that, because you're all of the one. You're Jesus, God, the devil, Satan, all of it. You can't have one without the other. So if you was asked to take the blue pill or the red pill, you're either gonna take both of them or take neither one, because one can't exist without the other. So we don't have to have the duality anymore. But that God, your God seat is waiting for you to take your rightful place and give it instructions and tell it what to do so that you can manifest whatever it is that you desire to manifest by your train of thought, to manifest by speaking it, and then it comes into existence. And that's the version of who you are. So if you got a brain, then you've got a God seat inside the brain, which is divine mind. The brain and the mind are two different things. So all of you melanated women, particularly because y'all are the gatekeepers of the religion, like I was, and I think all of us have been the gatekeepers of the lie. Stop holding on to the lie now that you know the truth, because you can't argue with me about this. Now, my last thing about what I want to say is this. If you're beautifully and wonderfully made and you're a gift from heaven, where is heaven at? And who made you? I'm help you out a little bit so you can have something to think about when we get off this call tonight. You wonderfully and beautifully made in your gift from heaven. That Jesus wasn't in the room when your mom and daddy got together and made love and created you. They are the creators of you. And if you came from your mother's womb, then your mother, all women hold heaven within themselves because you were a gift from heaven. And if you came from the womb of your mother, then why would you not see your mother as the God that she is, regardless of how messed up she may be? She still holds heaven within her because she's also been a victim of being hijacked from your mind, from her mind. And it's been passed on. So now we can let go of Jesus and go home and sit on your throne and be the God that you are. Now that you know, I don't know if anybody out there doesn't see the God within yourself. So let me just come out of this little thing so I can move this thing a little bit closer. You see that little entity there, right here? That's in the back of your brain. And you sitting on your throne. The God within you is within you. The kingdom of heaven sits within you, and this is where it is. There is no argument about that. And so understand that you're different. Melanated women are different than any other women on this planet. And that's because we have the mitochondrial DNA, which is the God juice that creates this right here. Now, if you're non-melanated and if you don't have enough melanin in you, then what's going to happen is when you have your children's pineal gland is going to be calcified by 12 years old.
Here's a
melanated woman, it gives the God passes on her God to her children.
Here's a question. Sheik Davis says, what about the seed of man, which holds both the male and female seed?
Okay, so the man cannot pass on the mitochondrial.
No, he doesn't.
Right. He will not pass it on because it's only passed through the feminine, the female. That's why the world hate us so much and have degraded us and caused us to fall to worship things that are beneath us. We're the top creatures of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
The melanated woman has the God genes that she has within her DNA to pass on to her children. If she was to mate with any mate on this earth, whether it's a melanated man or whether it's a Caucasian man or whether it's a Mexican man, she will always pass on to her children. If a melanated man get with a Caucasian woman or any other woman besides a melanated woman, regardless of whether he gets with whatever woman, he cannot ever pass it on. The woman can, his daughter, and if he's married to a melanated woman, the melanated woman is the best kept secret. That's why they secretly worship us, the Madonnas. We are the Madonnas. We are the gods.
We are the gods.
We are the original. Before there was Jesus, before there was any man to worship, that we have failed to worship ourselves and see ourselves as that we are. So tonight, I'm showing you what you have is so precious that they hate us because of it.
Lady Dancing Sun, if you don't mind, I know somebody asked said whether or not you and Goddess were going to say anything. Of course, you spoke in the very beginning, but I want to give you an opportunity to share, because I guess you have yourself muted, to share, because I know you've been listening and smiling and so forth. So please grace us with whatever comments you'd like to add to what's been said.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And yes, I have been feeling and hearing and receiving and getting downloads and appreciating all the wisdom that's being circulated, the divine, I'm telling you, the divine wisdom and the truths that are being circulated and resonating with me. And we are all of that. So I do want to highlight that once we know who we are, once we remember who we are, that we take the responsibility for being that divinity, that creator, that creatress, and recognize that we are creating with our thoughts, with our emotions. Before we even speak a thing, we've already begun the creative process. Mm-hmm. And so that which we are experiencing, we are creating, both positively and negatively, because we are the creators. And so be mindful. Once you remember that you're a creator, begin to be mindful of the thoughts that you're having, that you're creating your life with your thoughts. It takes consciousness, it takes attention, it takes awareness, it takes love of self, it takes commitment to living that best life and creating it with your thoughts and with your emotions and with your words. Constantly, you're doing that. So even if you say, I'm going to manifest a thing, you're manifesting it already. You're manifesting it whether you're conscious or unconscious, because you're a creator. You're creating it whether you intend to or you don't intend to. Mm-hmm. Take responsibility for your creative power. That is your divinity. And tonight's topic, the importance of acknowledging true divinity, acknowledging that you're truly divine, truly creating all the time. So be mindful now, be empowered with knowing, remembering that you're a creator. Mm-hmm. And do that. Create your children's lives, your spouse's lives, your own life, the world, humanity. You are creating that. So create it mindfully. Don't continue to be unconscious. Be conscious. Be aware. You are spirit, a spiritual being, manifesting itself, expressing itself as a creator through this human experience. You're only here through this human experience to create it, to manifest your divinity, who you know yourself as God, as. If your love, your hate, your joy, your peace, your anger, you are manifesting that as creator. Take responsibility for it as creator. No longer be aware, no longer give that power to create or that jurisdiction to create over to another. There is no more them and us. You are the creator of it all. You have been here from the beginning, and you are until the end. You are eternal, manifesting itself in time through this human experience. That's who you are. How do you identify yourself? Do you identify yourself as the body, the temple that has the God within it? Or do you identify yourself as the God that's within the temple? Once I learned that I am spirit and that my language, my thoughts, my emotions, and my words are creating my human experience, I began to identify with myself as spirit, as God that is abiding in the temple, not as the temple that has the God abiding in it.
All right.
Let that resonate. I began to identify, I am God. That's what that means. I am God. What does that mean to you? Where do you abide? I abide in the temple of the body of Lady Dancing Sun. But I am the God, not the body. I'm all of it, but I identify most now with myself as God. And I am mindfully creating my human experience. I'm choosing to be love, to be joy, to be peace, not just to have it within me. I'm choosing to be that thing. And I recognize every experience that I am having as human, as spirit through the human experience. I recognize every experience, every opportunity, every relationship as the chance to manifest my divinity. And that's all. With the power and the authority that I am that I am. And that's where I live. That's what I practice. That's who I am. That's how I think. That's how I emote. That's how I speak. That's how I experience life now. I haven't always. It's been a process. It's been a journey. And as you get to know me, I'll share that with you. But right now I'm sharing the me and my consciousness, my divine consciousness, my acknowledgement of my true divinity with you, because that's what we're here to do tonight.
Ashe. Thank you so much. Goddess Carbon Star, I know you said that you were a few words, but I didn't know if you wanted to add something. I had muted you because you were I think we kind of hear like a buzz coming from here, but I'm gonna
okay, call you back.
I'm gonna unmute you.
Okay. Do you still hear a buzz?
It's just slight.
Okay. Okay. Yes, I am a few words. And my sister really handled that when we still talk about the divinity. Yes. I am that I am. I create what I want. I create what I will. And I have come to a place where I do not look for things outside of me to control what it is that I desire. So I put out there into the universe what I will, what I want. And as my sister said, the manifestation occurs from my mind. And I speak what I want. I do what I want because I am that I am. And that's all I can be, is just be me and mind my business.
That's our thing. Mind our own business.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Listen, I want to
Dr. G, can I say something real quick before I run off?
Sure.
I just wanted to Empress said something about the calcification. That was on me. So because the calcification of the brain and that pineal that Empress was talking about is also calcification in our womb and in our heart. And so I just want to encourage the women also to find your flow, to fall in love with all parts of your womanhood again. Soften in your heart and fall in love with your womb and talk to your womb. She will answer and you will find some juice, because we are the water women. We are the water mothers. And so I just wanted to leave on a juicy note, Dr. G.
I'm juicy now. Let's just juice, y'all.
We're gonna learn how to be more juicy. We're gonna have to do some things on our unfiltered side.
We got to talk about this. This is juicy.
do see, yeah, we can't see it, but all the way. But yeah, we're gonna have to do that. But speaking of like unfiltered, y'all, because I know like when I start to give a lot of times when I start to give announcements, folks tend to check out. But before everybody checks out, I want to pull this up if y'all don't mind. I want y'all to know that next Tuesday, Office Hours with Dr. G, we're having a special presentation with Dr. Phil Valentine, aka Baba Sanu. Some know him as Baba Sanu. We're having a live Q&A session here on Office Hours with Dr. G. I'm not gonna do a lot of talking. I'm gonna be sitting there listening like you. Y'all gonna get a chance to ask Baba questions. He has Dr. Valentine questions. He has a very important 7-hour workshop webinar coming up on January. I believe it's January. Don't quote me. It's either the 14th or the 16th. It's in the description. I want you to go to, first of all, I want you to go to our website, which is www. Let me move this banner so you can see. I want you to see www.houseofreawakeningminds.com. And right on the front page, I believe our webmaster, Sister LaChris, has this session there. You have to register for this. There is no cost for this, but you must register in order to have access. It will not be on YouTube or Facebook. It will be live on our off channel, which is our StreamYard private channel. But we need you to register. It is free of charge. However, if you register and don't log in, miss it, or want to see a replay, there is a link that's also on the channel, on the page, on our webpage, that you can purchase a replay link for $4.99. After the fact, I advise you to sign up and log in on next Tuesday and be in there. Share this with others. Let them know. Dr. Phil Valentine, he's gonna do a no holds bar Q&A. He's gonna answer, you know how he is, but he's gonna do a 7-hour webinar. I believe it's January 14th. And it's going to be on what's going on right now. But he's going to answer questions here for us next Tuesday from 8 to 10. But it will not be on YouTube, y'all. It will be on our private channel. So you must go to www.houseofreawakeningminds.com and click on the registration link right there, and then you'll be able to get in and be a part of that and ask questions live. So I wanted to make sure that I made this announcement because it's a prelude or a prequel to, what he's going to be doing at his actual webinar on the 14th. So this is going to be a good opportunity. I'm expanding. We're trying to expand, who our audience and so forth. And so I'm grateful for Dr. Phil Valentine for coming on to do that. So I want to see like a 1. I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you're going to register. I don't ask them enough. You know what I mean? I need a 1 in the chat. Let me see next Tuesday. And I need y'all to tell other people to go to our page. It's the 14th. Okay. Go to our channel or our page, our website, and register for this. I tell you, this is free. Now, the other one that he's doing, you're going to have to pay for. But if you miss it and you want to see it, then it's going to be $4.99. Y'all, 1. I see those ones. I say, okay. All right. And tell me, and then I want to see it too. I'll make y'all work today. I want to see it too if you're going to tell somebody. I want to see it too if you're going to tell somebody else. Yeah. You can put 1, 2. Put a 12 in there. That's a 3. 1 plus 2 is 3. If you're going to tell somebody and you're going to register. Okay. All right. 1, 1. Okay.
I put 2.
1 and 2. Listen, y'all, things are happening. You know what? And that's what's happening. Manifest. I'm telling you, you all don't know the half of it. And I can't even tell you. Like you say, the prophet said the half has not been told. Y'all don't know the half of who you have in front of you. I would highly recommend, if you did not see Young Elder, his presentation on Sunday night with our brother Rod, actually did a class called something about the egregores.
That was great.
It was amazing.
I saw it. I sent them the link.
Okay, but I mean, I'm talking about the folks that may not out here know. But I'm telling you, if you did not go and if you did not see that, I want you to tune in. I want you to tune in for two reasons. I can say, look, at the beginning of that session, he does a PSA, and that's all I'm going to say. You need to hear the PSA, and then after the PSA, the class itself was amazing. Okay, all right. So I wish I could say more, but I'm just going to say it. Our brother has got his he's on a assignment right now to finish what he started.
Well, if I may, Dr. G, I'll let Vinay tell them why they should.
Okay.
Carbon Star, excuse me, Carbon Star.
Okay, she has to unmute herself.
Okay, there we go. Look, you know, I get like real excited, right? Let's just say this. PSA.
Yes.
It's a very important announcement.
Yeah.
I don't want because we want them to watch the actual video. So can I do this real quick?
Go
That
ahead.
means I'm really, really excited. That's my excitement. But I don't want to spill the beans. You all have to watch that video. You have to watch the video. It's just that important. And you will not be disappointed. This is an exciting time that we're in. And we're about to do some amazing things. So watch that video in its entirety.
Yes.
And let's do some stuff.
Is there a link to the video, Dr. G?
It's for those who know Young Elder. All you need to do is if you would click on Young Elder's page, a YouTube page. It was called. It's about the. I'm on my phone, so it doesn't let me see like I want to see.
It's egregories.
The egregore. Let me see. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to find it. All I'm saying is, I don't even know what to say about. Folks don't even. It's you know what it is when you know something, and you can't really say what you know, but you know what you know. Everybody needs to know. It's just amazing. And so when I heard him, do that PSA, I was on the conference call that, on the class in your class, right? But I had my cell phone on that, and I sent an inbox message and said he's giving a PSA right now at the front end of his class with Young Elder. And I was just so excited because then he even tied it in somewhat into the class about the egregores, but the class itself was amazing. That's what I'm saying. It was it was just an amazing class. And but it's some stuff going on that you just you need to know. And let me see if I can pick it up.
It's called the public announcement.
Oh, he did a public announcement. Did he
Public
do something?
service announcement.
He did the public announcement that kicked off some stuff.
Yes.
That's what we can tell you.
And if you saw that, then we're just saying that we know what it's about. That's all. We're saying that all five of us right here, we happen to know what it was about, and it's truly amazing, And so just stay tuned. Look at that video. Take it in that something has happened, and so he said to me in about 72 hours. Certain things should at least it takes about 72 hours to see what I don't want to call it. There's not repercussions. I would just say the result, because you will start seeing things. And I heard some things already, like in the last day, that said, they're bringing, they're saying some things. They're talking about the banks to shut down, the this is the. So we kind of know what's going on based on what we know. So please look at, like I said, Young Elder. It was Sunday. It was called something about egregor. I don't know if he was going to do a separate PS. He was going to take the PSA off the front of it and put it in a separate PSA. But if you look at the one where he was doing the class, the PSA is at the front end, and then the class is after that. And I think it's important because he brought a lot of points out in that class, about where we are as a people and what we must do to overcome that. So yeah. So yeah, absolutely. And let me see, I have one other announcement. Okay. I don't know exactly what channel, but I'll put it on. But I just confirmed that I will be a part of a panel with my dear sister Kafunya, Sister Diana Farr, Miss Bliss, and our mother Kahai, and Queen Afua on the 24th. I'll get that information out. It's another sisters panel. So it is not on my channel, but I am a panelist on that. So we'll get that information, try to get that information. If I can't do anything else, I'll get it put on our website. I'll make sure it's on the website so that you all, when I get the link, you all can be a part of that. I don't know, y'all. This has been wonderful. This has been awesome. And I know we have some great things ahead that we're looking to do. I love each and every one of you. I appreciate you to the utmost. This has been, we're going to see how we can tie our, the war, the women that are ready. Like I said, the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but, they are mighty, and they're eternal, spiritual weapons that we got to pull down every stronghold, everything that exalts itself above the knowledge of God. We can bring it down. We can bring it down. We can bring it down.
Absolutely.
So we are excited. Sisters, I want to bring you back on I have another channel that I but a broadcast that I have taken. I had not done anything with over a year, and I'm going to bring it back. It's called Open Circle Gathering, and we're going to bring Open Circle Gathering and let you see what that is. I had let me see this one. I'm sorry, this one. Open Circle Gathering, delving into life's mysteries to achieve life mastery. And that is a channel or a program to talk about stuff like this, to talk about the spiritual and the metaphysical and those things, the supernatural, to bring our gifts, to bring, if you're like me, I'm a divine, I do divination. I work with pendulums, and I work with crystals and things like that. I don't talk about it all the time, but that's what I do. That's us. That's us. I do energy work. That's us. We got the power. We need to use it wisely. And so on the Open Circle Gathering, we'll be able to bring all that stuff in. And I hope that you all will come and be a part of. That's a early, like mid-afternoon Sunday, like maybe it's like an hour and a half. And we'll invite anybody to come in, whatever your spiritual belief is, but we can sit at the table together and not fight about it, but let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's find our common ground. Right. So thank you again, each and every one of you. Thank you, you, and you. I'm going to bring this banner up one more time because I want to make sure that they know about next Tuesday, because I can't put it on, this channel here because I can't, but we're going to use our unfiltered channel. So go to www.houseofrealawakeningminds.com right now and register. I should see those numbers. I can go in there and and look and see how many numbers are coming up. Just register. You just put your name and your email address. That's all we need. And then you'll go back to that link on next Tuesday. And just like you see this, you'll see that it just won't be broadcast anywhere but on our internal channel. It'll be the same exactly. You'll be able to see this the exact same way you see YouTube and Facebook. So there's nothing different. And if you see it, you won't have to pay for it if you come in. But anytime after Tuesday, it's $4.99. And we do have a QR code that you can purchase that replay link. But I want you to see it in the live. Be a part of the live chat. Get your questions answered. And last but not least, Greg Sheik and I will be back on Friday. So I got a couple times this week to do part 2 of where we started week before last. He told me to do part 2, and we're going to do that this coming Friday at 7:30. I think that's it, y'all. What you think?
I think that'll be a wrap. I thoroughly enjoyed myself, and Mama Kali Kali.
Kali.
Helena, she is one of us. She sent a text saying she's been trying to reach you and connect with you. So I will give you, she's listening. I will give you her number if you would be so kindly to give her a call. I think you would be very proud to talk to her, to speak with her.
And then someone asked in the chat about obtaining your books. Your books are available on Amazon. Am I correct? At Amazon.com.
Are you asking me?
Yes, Mama Kelly.
Oh, yes. My books are available on Amazon. This is my latest book, American Indians Searching for Home. It's short stories written while I was living in Ghana, and it's a lot of revelations about living abroad, and a lot of the spiritual work that I did while I was there. The Diaspora Road in Ghana, American Indians Searching for Home. That's the other one.
And the first one again, you want to put that up again because
what's that? Yes, American Indians Searching for Home.
No, the other book.
Oh, yes. Global Transformations, the Rise of Feminine Power, and the Ascension of the Ethiopian King.
Yes. Okay.
And like I said, the Ethiopian King is the new North Star. We're in a pole shift now.
All right.
Thank you so much. And my books are available on Amazon.
Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all, one and all. Read the description. You have content. We have contact information for Empress Rarebird, for Mama Kali, and for RevCoach LaTonia Taylor in the description and links there. You can, if you want to get in touch with Lady Dancing Sun and Goddess Carbon Star, get in touch with Empress Rarebird.
No. They'll give you the Legacy Committee email, and if you guys would, because they look.
Oh, that's right. They take the load off of you.
They take the load off of me, and I let them so that people won't. They're my filter, really. So please.
And if you want to know about your the course, the 12-step course, and other things that you're doing, these ladies will be able to. Okay, Goddess Carbon Star,
the regulator, and
we're not going the right way.
The mediator.
And that website is the email address that they can reach out or the website. But they can also go to the Instagram. Can they go to the Instagram and there's the there are the links there on your.
I haven't. I have to find somebody to help me with that. But in the meantime, if you could get it, they'll give you the email Legacy Committee. If you guys would give the information now, please.
Yes. Actually, I'm also put it in the chat.
Comment.
Yes, put it in the chat. But it is legacy.CherokeeNationState@gmail.com. So if you have any questions, concerns, comments, you can reach the Legacy Committee there. And if it's something that is for Empress, we will pass that information on as well.
Okay. Right. And I do have Instagram. It's Gnosis on the Move. You just look that up, and then the people.
It's in the description.
Okay, thank you.
The links are in the description. So,
yeah.
Okay, I think you're putting that in, right? Okay. Well, I think that's about it. I have enjoyed you all immensely, and I am looking forward to the next time we come together. So with that, that we give it all right, there we go. All right, y'all, we love you. Gonna see you on Tuesday.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for having us
so much.
Love and light.
Love and light to you all.
Mother, I sent the phone number to you.
Me?
I sent the phone number to you in your text.
Oh, okay. Thank you very much.
All right, love and
Okay,
light.
we out of here.
Okay, peace.
Peace.
Thank you.
Dr. G. Really? Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Really? Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Really? Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Really? Who's she?
Yeah, that's me.
Dr. G. Really?